Hi, welcome to Sustainable Investing. My name is Mike. Canada just set a new target for phasing out ICE vehicles and selling zero-emission vehicles in the country. We're going to go through the key points from this announcement, and I'll give you my thoughts on what it all means. Before we get started, please hit the like button. It really helps support the channel. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing to see more videos on sustainable investing. On June 29th, 2021, the Government of Canada announced that by 2035, 100% of all passenger cars and light-duty trucks must be zero emission. This is huge because 1/4 of Canada's greenhouse gas emissions come from the transportation sector. Previously, this goal was set for 2040. However, the government has moved the target ahead by 5 years to match the targets set in the United Kingdom, California, and a few other jurisdictions around the world. So how will we get there? In the announcement, they indicated that to get to 100% zero-emission vehicles sold by 2035, it'll need a combination of investments such as ZEV tax credits, infrastructure such as charging stations, and new regulations. They also state that they'll be setting interim goals for 2025 and 2030 so that we can make sure we're on track. The announcement also mentioned that there is now a 50% corporate tax cut for any companies or businesses in Canada that are either manufacturing ZEVs or ZEV components. I think this is really huge, and it's going to really support companies like Ford, Tesla, and battery manufacturers to come to the country and do their manufacturing there. So here are a couple quotes that came from the announcement. The Minister of Transport said, "Only bold climate policies lead to bold results. Through measures aimed at accelerating the transition to 100% zero-emission vehicle sales, we will continue building a cleaner and more resilient economy while also creating good jobs and opportunities for all Canadians. We will also continue to support the automotive sector, including through our investment of $8 billion to accelerate the industrial transition thanks to the Net Zero Accelerator." Another quote came from the Minister of Environment and Climate Change. He said, "Cutting our transportation emissions is one of the most readily achievable, economically beneficial paths Canada can take on the road to net zero emissions by 2050. That's why we are committed to aligning Canada's zero-emission vehicles sales targets with those of the most ambitious North American jurisdictions. We will work with the United States to harmonize performance-based greenhouse gas regulations and greenhouse gas emission standards. We're investing in consumer rebates, charging stations, business tax breaks, and industry transition costs to make the shift to zero-emission vehicles as seamless as possible for drivers, workers, and entrepreneurs." So in my opinion, I think this new target of selling 100% zero-emission vehicles by 2035 is a really great goal and makes it clear that Canada wants to be a world leader in fighting climate change and having a sustainable economy. The one negative I have for this target is that it doesn't account for medium or heavy-duty commercial vehicles, such as the trucking industry. According to an article from iPolitics, about 42% of Canada's greenhouse gas emissions from the transportation sector come from the commercial trucking and freight industry. Overall, that's about 10.5% of Canada's total greenhouse gas emissions. My final thought is that transitioning away from ICE vehicles to zero-emission vehicles is not only going to help fight climate change and clean the air, it's also going to be a huge boost to our economy. For example, in the announcement, they project that these new measures are going to see a 26-fold increase in electric vehicle jobs in Canada by 2030. Furthermore, there's an article from Utility Drive, which I'll provide a link below, that summarized some important research that came out from the University of California that analyzed Biden's new infrastructure bill. Their research found that transitioning to 100% electric car sales by the year 2030 and electric truck sales by 2035, combined with a 90% clean energy grid by 2035, could save consumers $2.7 trillion by the year 2050. That's about $1,000 per household every year to 2050. It would also create more than 2 million jobs in 2035. And finally, reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 45% by 2030. Let me know what you think about these new targets from Canada to transition from ICE vehicles to zero emission. Are these targets ambitious enough? What more can we do? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. I'll see you next time.